Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do something a little different than usual. I was watching Netflix last night and came across a new horror film on the streamer called Viking Wolf. A werewolf movie from Norway, steeped in Viking mythos. Well, what could I say but sign me up. As always, grab your popcorn and let's get started. First things first, let's unravel the plot. Viking Wolf whisks us away to the small Norwegian town of Nebo, which is shrouded in fear due to a series of gruesome murders. Our protagonist, Liv, is a newly appointed deputy police officer who's juggling motherhood and her new job amidst these horrifying events. Following a flashback sequence outlining how the Viking Wolf legend came to be, we meet 17-year-old Thali. She's dealing with a lot of changes. See, she's recently moved into a new home after her mother Liv transferred from her job as a police officer in Oslo. There's tension between them as Thali partly blames Liv for her father's death, and she isn't exactly chummy with her new stepfather Arthur. The only ray of sunshine in her life seems to be her deaf little sister, Jenny. But it's not all doom and gloom, as Thali gets invited to an outdoor party by Jonas, a boy she fancies in her class. And after sneaking out some of her stepdad's beers, she heads off into the woods to join the other kids. But the party turns sour when she sees Jonas chatting with Ellen, the local mayor's daughter. And as if that wasn't enough, things take a nightmarish turn when some kind of creature attacks Ellen in the dark. Thali tries to help but ends up injured herself, while Jonas backs away in fear. Ellen, unfortunately, is dragged screaming into the woods. Next day, the police force, which includes Thali's mother Liv and police chief Eilert, find only a bloody phone and a large claw. Though no one seems to know what kind of beast attacked the kids, Liv suspects it might have been a wolf. Things only get stranger when a one-armed man named Lars comes to the police station claiming that this beast is actually a werewolf, which he has been tracking all his life. Liv dismisses this, but not before he gives her a silver bullet, claiming it's the only thing that can kill the beast. And with the arrival of veterinary expert William and his conclusion that the beast could indeed be an unusually large wolf, the mayor sends out a hunting party to kill it, headed by Liv and Eilert. Meanwhile, Thali, our troubled teenager, finds herself experiencing strange dreams and visions. Her senses are heightened, she's tired all the time, and her little sister finds her sleepwalking, and she can't understand why. I don't want to spoil what happens next, but let's just say the hunting party doesn't go according to plan, and Liv comes out of it convinced more than ever in the possibility of werewolves in their midst. One thing I'll say about this movie, the action is done really well, ramping up over the course of the film along with the tension. And thanks to both a strained relationship between them as well as each character dealing with their own issues, Liv and Thali are each forced to contend with their problems without the other's help. As with most werewolf movies, it's largely a tragic tale, though the film offers a sliver of hope as it comes to a close. And that's part of the haunting beauty of Viking Wolf. It leaves you with questions, keeps you guessing, and makes you ponder the depths of a mother's love when faced with a series of impossible choices. And I think this is where the film really shines. The characters. For all the challenges standing in the way, Liv is a character to admire. She's dealing with the recent loss of her husband, a new job, and the responsibility of raising her daughters, all while trying to solve a series of horrific murders. And I really have to give the actress playing Liv Mjonis, props in this regard. Her performance was captivating. But more than that, her character was vulnerable and flawed, and it truly made me feel for her struggles and how overwhelmed she felt as the murders pile up and she realizes that her daughter is in the middle of it all. This is one mistake Hollywood regularly makes these days. If the hero's a woman, and especially one who's portrayed as a strong woman, Hollywood writers and filmmakers tend to give her superficial or external problems to overcome. And the idea is basically that her biggest problem is that the people around her don't give her enough credit for how amazing she actually is. Look at so many modern female heroes in genre films, from Captain Marvel to Rey Skywalker, whose only flaws are that they really have no flaws. They're pretty much perfect at everything they do. They never need to train or learn new skills, and their so-called flaws are only external. especially with regards to the men that surround them. In contrast, Liv is presented as skeptical, intelligent, curious, and capable. But she's also hindered by doubt, worry, fear, and even her own motherly instincts. She doesn't have all the answers, and she's not the smartest person in the room, or the one who kicks ass the easiest. But she also doesn't give up, especially when she realizes Thali is involved. If anything, it spurs her to action all the more. Like Ripley and Sarah Connor, she's an otherwise normal person thrown into an impossible scenario, but she adapts and overcomes through a combination of skill, determination, and good old-fashioned luck. And that's a hero who's at once relatable and easy to root for. She had me on her side from the first moment, and she only became more likable the more the story progressed. As for the rest of the characters, I quite like them too, even if some of them could have used a little more fleshing out. At first, I was left wanting more from the character development of Thali. Her aloofness and distance initially seem out of place. But as you delve deeper into the narrative, it becomes clear that she's dealing with the loss of her father, a new town, new friends, a potential love interest, and a sudden stepfather. And her relationship with her little sister is as realistic as it is tragic. Thali's transformation after being bitten adds a intriguing twist to the story, but I believe there was potential for further exploration here. A deeper look into the conflict and resolution between Thali and her family, especially Liv, would have added more depth to the narrative. And I must add, it was refreshing to see that the men surrounding the female hero also didn't fall into the modern Hollywood stereotype of being either villains or buffoons. The stepdad Arthur is presented as a loving man who provides for his new family and cares for them, willing to risk his life when it matters the most. And the police chief, Eilert, is a flawed man with little experience in these matters. As a cop in a sleepy fishing village, he's in way over his head. But he's not some cartoonish buffoon standing in Liv's way either. He's trying his best, even if she's the one who steps up more. But at least his heart is in the right place. William and Lars, as the vet and the werewolf hunter respectively, were the least developed characters, with Lars coming dangerously close to being a parody of traditional monster hunters. But his one scene with the police chief in the hospital was redeeming, in that it gave him some much needed depth in a difficult moment. I would have loved to see more from William as well, as he's in the film mainly to provide scientific exposition which could plausibly explain what's happening. It would have been nice to see a little more of what's driving the man behind the theories, though. As far as the visual effects in Viking Wolf, they're impressively executed, especially considering the film's limited budget. A combination of CGI and practical effects are used for the werewolf scenes, along with creative use of lighting and camera work. The scenes are chilling, and the creature effects are genuinely terrifying in places. In one scene even putting me in mind of American Werewolf in London's iconic transformation scene. And I have to say that one thing that caught my attention about this film right from the start is the ambiance. Being set in a remote village in Norway, it immediately put me in mind of the 13th Warrior, with its use of forested, mountainous terrain next to a small inlet, and the occasional creeping fog rolling in from up mountain. Which is all to say, I think this movie's in some good company. All in all, Viking Wolf is a solid horror film that successfully combines elements of mystery and suspense with some real heart at the center of it all. It's not perfect, but certainly worth a watch for its engaging plot, compelling characters, and impressive visual effects. If you've seen Viking Wolf, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't, well, what are you waiting for? Check it out. But these are just my 2 cents. Give me yours. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest content. Until next time, stay creative.